Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and match preview for the big one. Chelsea versus Liverpool at Anfield on Sunday afternoon. First versus fourth, first big test of the season for both teams, you could argue. And Chelsea looking for a first win at Anfield since 2021. And I just seen recently, we haven't beaten Liverpool in the last 9 matches between the two sides. So we are well overdue a win. But whether that's going to happen or not, we'll have to wait and see. As you can see, joined by Romz. Bro, great to catch up again. As always, hope you're doing good. A lot of change at both clubs over the summer. Obviously, we've both changed managers. Big change for you with Klopp going out. Slots come in. The squad has pretty much stayed the same. We've had a Chiesa in. So far, no Klopp, no problem. Must be pretty happy with how things are going, mate.
Yeah, man, I can't complain. I think the main difference of Slot and Klopp towards Klopp's tenure, at the start of his tenure, it was quite basketball-like. Then we won the Champions League and Prem, and we were more solid. And then his latter years, with an Asian midfield, whatnot, I'd say his last season or two, it started to become basketball-esque again. And I think Slot's system just solidified us again. We press cohesively, but we also leave 2 of our midfielders to protect the back 4. So when there is a turnover, we're not as exposed. And I think that's reflective in the goals conceded. It's only been 2 Premier League goals. And when you look at them, it was a misunderstanding with Konate and Alisson. And the other one was literally Bradley coming for Trent and Hudson-Odoi gave him a torrid time. But there are 2 goals in the league conceded. But I think the main positive is, I know Slot was taking over one of the best managers we've seen, but for me, it's just how solid we are. Because when you look at our run of fixtures that we've played so far, we were kind of expected to win all of them, for me, bar 2, United and AC Milan. And I know some people say, oh, United, they're pants this season. I get that. But historically, that's been a tricky ground for us to go to. We've gone there with better sides. And the fact we passed that with flying colours, it's not just that we won, it's the way we won. I know some people might say they're not at their best, but it's always been a mentality thing for us. I mean, we went there twice last season and didn't win. So, yeah, I was impressed with that. And AC Milan, to go a goal down, we looked shaky the first 5 minutes. And then again, to pass that with flying colours and win as comfortably as we did. But I'd say the other Forest, you expect us to win. That was just a blip. I was actually at the game, and it's kind of like we went into that game thinking we had already won. But all of the other games are expected wins. Ipswich, Brentford, yeah. Bournemouth, Wolves. I think regardless who our manager is, we were expected to win them. But I think every Liverpool fan's over the moon at the moment. But I am looking forward to this next 2 months. I think both of us have tricky fixtures.
Bro, your fixtures are mental, by the way.
They're crazy.
Like your run for your run pretty much till Christmas is mad.
Crazy. But I relish this as a fan because you know how far your team's gone, and you know how good your team are with these runs. A lot of, obviously, rivals will do what rivals do. Oh, it's the downfall. This is where Liverpool slip up. It's football. We're tribal. That's what happens. But I'm relishing this, man. But the next 3 games, Chelsea at home, Leipzig away, Arsenal away. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm relishing this, man. Relishing it.
Mate, Klopp might be in the stands for that one in his new Red Bull role. You know,
yeah, exactly.
Mate, you never know. It could be mad. But Joe, I think's massively helped Slot as well. Is that like compared to what Klopp come into? He's coming into a stable squad, established stars, guys that are at the top of their game, and there's not really been that much upheaval. Yeah, of course, his methods are a little bit different and whatnot, but the squad is the same. You know, the quality's there, and it's kind of just it's a continuation of before. Obviously, he's got his different ideas, different methods, fresh start for everyone. You're noticing like someone like Ryan Gravenberch, for example, who wasn't brilliant under Klopp. You know, maybe Klopp didn't particularly fancy him or it just didn't really work out. This guy looks unbelievable this season. You've got someone like Konate who had widely been mocked, you know, during his time at Liverpool. This season, he comes on at half-time against Ipswich, first game. Guy looks a different player to what was there before. You know, him and Van Dijk got the best partnership in the league right now. 2 goals conceded, as you say. Fresh start for players, new ideas, new manager, and it's definitely paying dividends for a lot of players. Just quickly on them 2, mate. What are you? I'll be honest. I knew Gravenberch was a decent player. He was very good at Ajax. I think the move to Bayern was probably a year or 2 too soon for him.
Yeah.
Come to Liverpool, wasn't amazing under Klopp. Had a few games here and there. Bro, what's changed this season, by the way? Because everyone, you know, going about, oh, you know, should have got a 6 in, missed out on Zubimendi, obviously, you've missed out on others in the past. What's changed with Gravenberch this season? Just new manager, new sense of trust, little arm around the shoulder, or is he just finally kind of developing as a player?
I think it's a tactical tweak because we play a pivot now. So Gravenberch. The thing is, us Liverpool fans always knew the quality in Gravenberch. If you heard one of our fans say he's not that good or whatnot, I don't know. I know everyone can have their opinion, but it's kind of like, what are you watching? Because even last season, there's glimpses of his talent. Him on the half term, he can drop his shoulder. He's quite flamboyant in the way he plays. But I think the biggest difference is Klopp played with a lone six. That's why you saw Fabinho was, for me, the best in the world at that role for about 2.5 years. We played a lone six where you'll have the 2 8s that kind of roam and press. Now, I think the big difference is you have the pivot in McAllister and Gravenberch that kind of stay, and so Szoboszlai will press with the front three, whether it be Diaz, Jota, Nunes, Salah. Front four will that kind of press as a cohesive unit, and then you'll have Gravenberch and McAllister as a pivot, where I think he has more protection. The type of profile Gravenberch is, I think the lone six didn't suit him, and he was sometimes getting exposed. But also, Klopp never gave him a run of games. He never got 3-4 starts, and you know the football, you have to build that rhythm. So I think the quality's always been there. It was a mix of opportunity and tactics for me last season, but he's been flawless. I'd actually say him and Caicedo have been the two best sixes in the league this season. Them two have been the two best, and this is why I think Sunday's so intriguing, because you're getting the best versus the best. But I think that's the main change with Gravenberch, tactically and also opportunity-wise.
Mate, what's happening with Konate as well? Because, you know, he's a decent player, but you know, he's a bit rash at times last season. Remember that he probably should have been sent off. I don't know if it was last season, might have been the season before, but he should have been sent off definitely in one of the Merseyside derbies at Anfield. He was very lucky, or he might have even been sent off. I can't remember now. But it's not been the best of times. But as I said, he comes on at half time in the first game of the season for Quansah, and he's not looked back. Bro, what's happened with him? I know, obviously, you know, people can say, you know, Van Dijk's so good, so anyone can kind of look good alongside him. I get that to a degree, but Konate's really stepped up, and he looks a top player.
Do you know what it is, Charlie? Again, similar to Gravenberch, he's always been quality, but I've been one of his biggest critics because you hit the nail on the head. For me, the past 2 seasons, he's been very rash, and sometimes he won't be calculated in what he does. And I remember a game against Arsenal at Anfield, they've gone a goal up within a minute because he makes a needless foul at the edge of the box when he didn't need to. So Szoboszlai was about to cover him. And there's been a lot of times where he engages where he doesn't have to. We get a foul and we might concede. The quality's always been there, though, because Champions League final, for me, I know Real Madrid won the game, the Vinny goal, but for me, he was the best player on the pitch. He's had countless displays in the Champions League where he's been flawless. The quality's always been there. But I think Slot this season has kind of put his arm around him and basically just said, calm down a bit. His temperament's better. He doesn't engage as much. If anything, Van Dijk engages a bit more this season. So I think the quality's always been there with Konate, and he has a sample size of games that are evident. But for me, it was just always him being a bit rash, him not being that intelligent. But that's been completely ironed out of his game. And this is where I have to credit Slot, right? Because the hallmark of a good manager is improving players. For me, 3 players he have improved. You've already named 2 of them, Gravenberch, Konate, and for me, Luis Diaz as well, because I've been very critical of Luis Diaz at the back end of last season. We had a game against United away at Old Trafford where he had a few one-on-ones. City at home, he had a few one-on-ones. And I feel like in our title running, he was very wasteful. Very wasteful. And I can't lie to you, Charlie, it might have been a bit knee-jerk, but I was willing to listen to offers for him in the summer. He's in his prime. We would have got good money for him. And we were looking at that left-hand side. But again, he has shut me up. And you've got to credit Slot because Gravenberch, Konate, and Diaz, for me, have gone that up another level. And Diaz, you don't only have to look at his output. I think he's out of our front three. Maybe he's tired of Salah, but I think he's got the most GA in our front three now. So Luis Diaz has been sublime. Konate's been sublime. And so has Gravenberch. And this is all credit to Slot.
I mean, just on Diaz quickly, I spoke to Aaron about this the other day. Like some Liverpool fans think this is just a bit of a purple patch with him. Can he maintain it sort of for the majority of the season, or is this now kind of the real Luis Diaz, and this is the player that, you know, sort of so impressed when he first come over from Portugal? Like, what do you reckon, bro? Do you think he can maintain this for the season? Does he need to maintain this for the season?
Do you know what? That has been a narrative in our fan base. Is it a flash in a pan? Is it maybe just a purple patch? Because he started like this last season. And then obviously the unfortunate kidnapping of his dad, it played with his mentality it was quite a tough time. And even the season, but because his first 6 months, this is when Mane decided he wasn't going to extend with us and he wanted to leave. He came in for them 6 months. We won the Carabao and the FA Cup. He was just the catalyst for, because that's where we tried to compete on all 4 fronts, and we're 2 games away from doing the unthinkable, right? But he came in that 6 months and he was the catalyst. I think had we not signed him January 2022, I don't think we go as far in each respective competition. However, he then gets an injury the season after at Arsenal, which keeps him out for 6 months. But then he comes back at the start of last season and he was sublime. So for me to start giving my apologies, because there's a lot of Liverpool fans that give me a bit of stick. Oh, Romel, give your apologies, whatnot. That I need to see at least a good 6 months here, because again, it's been 10 games. He's been sublime. I'm not taking anything from him at all. He has been excellent. You could argue him and Gravenberch are 2 best players, but whoever you spoke to, I think they're spot on. We need to see. I can't say it is or it's not a purple patch just yet. I need to see this at least until Christmas, January. Then I can start saying, you know what, 6 months of good work. He's back now. This isn't no flash in the pan. This isn't a purple patch. So yeah, just need to see it a bit more. And yeah, he's doing. It's not even just for club. He's doing it for Colombia as well. Him, Durand, James Rodriguez, they're all. I think
that's a tasty little front line, isn't it? That's all right. That
yeah. Colombia in the next World Cup, they can give a lot of teams quite a lot of trouble.
They got Copa America final, didn't they? I mean, they only lost 1-0 to Argentina.
Exactly.
They got some decent players, but I mean, bro, throw it ahead to this weekend. Obviously, you know, we can both say we've kind of got. We haven't really been tested, I suppose. You know, we played City on the opening day, but it's opening day. Exactly. Can't really read too much into it, and then. Look, it's not been easy fixtures, but it's not been what you would describe as, oh, you know, we've really come up against a kind of a big test. This is the first big test for you, and it's the first big test for us as well. From a Chelsea perspective, bro, obviously our record's not great against you boys. There's been a lot of draws. As I said at the top of the show, the last 9 games between us, we haven't been able to beat you. We beat you at Anfield, I think, last time with COVID, 2021. Mason Mount got the goal. Yeah. I know you always feel pretty confident at Anfield, as you should. How are you feeling about Chelsea visiting this weekend? Like, do you sort of fear this Chelsea team more than maybe ones of the last couple of years? How are you viewing us?
Charlie, if you remember, I've always respected your. Remember, even under Poch, I had you top 4, and I've got you top 4 again, because I can't be a hypocrite. A lot of your players I've wanted my club to sign at some point in the past.
He tried to sign quite a few of them.
Exactly. So look, we start off with Lavio and Caicedo. I wanted the both of them. Colwell was getting touted for 80 million. I was all over that. I wanted Colwell. In Nkunku, before he went to you lot, before we signed Jota, we were linked with him from Leipzig as well. I also wanted him. João Felix, I've always loved. I know he needs to now go to that next level because the talent's there, but the output isn't all there. But I've liked João Felix. Palmer, I've loved from Man City. Pedro Neto, I wanted as a potential replacement for Salah. There's about 8-9 tossing on a free I wanted in the summer as well. So there's literally about 9 or 10 players I've wanted from your club. So I can't sit here and say I don't rate Chelsea. I rated you lot last season. I rate you lot this season. However, I back us against anyone at Anfield. Obviously, we're probably going to do score prediction at the end of the show, but I back us against anyone at Anfield. I think you said it. We've not faced an attack as potent as yours, and you've not faced an attack as potent as ours. However, I don't think you face a defense as vice versa. Yeah. But then you kind of have, because Forest, I think, are top 3 or 4.
Forest,
we lost to them.
Yeah, bro. People sort of look at the Forest results that we've both had against them and think, oh, that's not great. Bro, Forest are decent, by the way. I was very impressed. I was at the game when we played them, and they were good. They didn't offer loads going forward, but they're resolute. They get stuck in. They defend very well, and they're dangerous from set pieces, and they're dangerous sort of on the counter attack as well. Bro, I was impressed with them. I'm looking at that now, and actually, when you see that both of us have failed to beat Forest at home, that's Forest. Sometimes you just got to give respect to the other teammate. Forest were decent.
Do you know what? I give you lot respect. You lot were breaking them down. You just
we were breaking them down. Yeah,
Palmer and Nkunku should have won that game in the last.
Felix had a good chance as well. There was a lot of opportunities we had. That's why, by the way, bro. I wasn't obviously you're always disappointed to drop points at home, right? But I didn't leave that game thinking, we're in trouble here, because last season we wouldn't have broken that side down and we wouldn't have created the chance. I'm thinking we're creating the chances here. It's not like we've not been able to break these down. We've broken these down. It's just on this particular occasion, the attack weren't firing. So I wasn't concerned by what I saw.
And do you know what, Charlie? That's the opposite. Like, I wasn't, because I was behind the goal in the cup when maybe it's a good omen that I leave the games alone this season.
Yeah.
When I went there, but then my record at Anfield's quite good. Whenever I go, we normally win. But that's the worrying thing. I said to the guy next to me around the 60th minute, we're not breaking them down, you know. Because the things you are still creating chances. We created chances in the first 20 minutes against them. But so to be fair, Chelsea and Liverpool have both, the hardest defense we've both faced is Forest. But I just believe, one thing I will say, as much as you lot have been leaking goals, I think you have a blessing in disguise this Sunday. And I'll tell you why. I think the one department of a starting 11 is your defense, where you want it to be in sync. That is the one department that needs to be in sync. And Cucurella and Fofana are both suspended for this game.
Yeah.
However, I think Viega coming in, because Salah's given Cucurella a torrid time since he's been at Chelsea, and I think Viega coming in could be better equipped to Salah. And also, Tosin coming in for Fofana, that's high. We're very good from set pieces. Yeah. And I think the fact two players are coming in Viega and Tosin that are taller than Cucurella and Fofana, not to say Fofana's short, but you get the gist. It's high.
Yeah, you know, Tosin's a lot bigger than him.
Exactly. And I think for this game in isolation, this is a blessing in disguise for you lot. I think Tosin and Viega coming in could bode well. But I just think Anfield, big... Look, I'll name you a few records, right? United haven't beat us at Anfield since they had Wayne Rooney, which is nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah.
City, I think you lot and City beat us in the same year where there wasn't... I'm not taking it away from you, but there wasn't an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we lost 6 in a row to the likes of Burnley and Brighton. We didn't have no centre. I think it was Fabinho and Kabak playing centre-back. But before that, I think it was Diego Costa winner in your Mourinho winning season, which was about 5-6 years prior to that. City haven't beat us with a crowd, I think since 2003. Arsenal haven't beat us at Anfield since 2012. It's coming up to 12 years now. So do you get the gist? Spurs haven't beat us in about 10 years. A lot of the big stuff, we are very hard to beat at Anfield. And I just back us. The only team I fear at Anfield is Real Madrid, because they come there and normally get the job done.
Do their thing, innit? Yeah.
They do their thing, but I just back us against anyone. And I respect Chelsea, and my scoreline at the end will show that I respect you, though. But I just think it might be a bit too much. I actually think you score first. I will say that. I think it goes against the grain. But do you know what I think, Charlie? And I want your thoughts on this, and even the chat. I don't think Maresca will do this because it's kind of going against his philosophy. But I think your best bet might be to just let us have the ball and kind of play pragmatic and hit us on the counter. Because if you've seen the games we've played, Palace gave us some trouble on the counter. Yeah. Wolves gave us some trouble on the counter. Forest won the game on the counter attack. So I think Maresca respects your players too much. He's like, no, we're going to actually bring it to them. And that's what I think will play into our hands. But yeah, I think if you look to score first, which I do think will happen, and maybe sit back a bit, I think you could. I don't think you will, but there's a chance you could leave the game with 3 points.
No, do you know what it is, bro? Like, I agree. And this is the most confident I'm feeling going to Anfield in recent years. Because if we can't feel confident going to Anfield off the start we've had, then when are we ever going to feel confident going there? Look, it's the toughest place to go. It does weird things to you. You know, we should be approaching this game exactly how we've approached every other game this season. We shouldn't be going to Anfield and then suddenly changing our game plan. Obviously, show respect, but don't overdo the respect. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so you see so many teams go to Anfield, they're playing really well, and then suddenly they'll like put an extra defender in, or they'll put an extra midfield player in, and they'll literally play like they haven't played at all for that whole season. But they go to Anfield and suddenly the game plan has to change. I think our best chance, right, is to just go and just take the game to you. And I think in our team right now, there's a fearlessness, and I don't think that those young players are going to be phased by going to Anfield. Look at someone like Cole Palmer. He doesn't give a shit what ground he's going to. This guy turns up, just does what he needs to do. And I look at it and I just think there's a lot of, you know, talent in the team. And there's a lot of players that I look there and just think they're not going to be phased by this. They're just going to go, they're just going to turn up and do their thing. And you've got, I know it's easy to say, but you've got to play the game, not the occasion. You just can't allow the the occasion to get the better of you. At the end of the day, it's 11v11. It's a football pitch. Like that's what it is at the end of the day. But this is our best chance for sure of winning in a while. But ultimately, we're going to create chances. We might not have loads of chances, but we'll definitely get some. And it's about can we take those chances? And obviously at the other end as well, you guys are good going forward. Defensively, it's definitely been our weakness. But I was looking at this, right? We've conceded 8 goals this season, which is 2 or 3 less than Arsenal. But I was going through the goals we've conceded. 2 of those goals were Sanchez howlers straight off the bat. So that's 6 goals conceded. There was one from a set piece, which is unfortunate. And then obviously, we had Haaland who just walked through our defence and we should have done a lot better. So I'm looking at it, right? Yeah, we conceded 8 goals, but really, I don't think we've been, and I think I've done us a little bit of a disservice defensively in the past as well. I don't think we're as bad defensively as what a lot of people have said. It's definitely the weakest area of the team. It's the weakest area of the team for sure, but it's not as bad as what some people make you out to think. It's not terrible, but it's one of them that does need improvement. Set pieces could be a problem, but I agree with you, mate. Tosin does make a big difference in both boxes for us in terms of clearing set pieces and in terms of obviously a threat possibly at the other end of the pitch. But obviously we've got a lot of attacking threat, whether it's Sancho, Palmer, Madueke. Just on this briefly, before I get your thoughts on Palmer, bro, there's been a lot of discussion in the Chelsea fan base about whether, should Jackson or should Nkunku start this game. From a Liverpool perspective, right, who would you rather line up in that centre-forward role on Sunday? Would you rather it be Jackson or would you rather have Nkunku lining up there? What would you prefer?
The fact I have to think about this is a testament to both of them, because Nkunku's a player I've liked for years, Charlie. Like I said at the start of this show, I wanted, before we signed Jota, that was the guy I wanted, and I know Klopp was a big admirer of him. But the only reason why I'd probably side with Jackson is they're both in very good form. I think their GA is very similar this season. But the reason why I'd side with Jackson is he's had a bit of success against Van Dijk and Konate in recent games. When I say success, I don't mean in terms of goals scored, but I remember the game at the Bridge last year. I was at the game when we drew 1-1, and you lot probably should have won that game if I'm being honest. Should have won it, yeah. But he was pulling Konate and Van Dijk ragged. He had about 2 1-on-1s. There was a good save by Alisson for one of them. He had about 2 1-on-1s he should have scored. And even at Anfield in the 4-1 win last season, as much as that was a demolition job, and I know you lot didn't set up how most of your fan base would have ideally liked you to start, he was still kind of finding pockets where I've always said, I say it to, I know you know Don quite well. That's the main Chelsea fan I speak to. I always say Nkunku is capable of playing the false 9 because he's that good of a finisher. I always say rivals are very disingenuous to Nkunku because they're like, oh, I think he's only scored 4 goals in about 20 Premier League appearances. But I said that's disingenuous because a lot of them are off the bench. If you go to his minutes to goals to minutes ratio, it looks a lot better, especially in the league. So I think I would side with Jackson only because Jackson has given Van Dijk and Konate problems in terms of where to be positionally. But it's a good headache to have. I think either or is quite good for you, though. So I would side with Jackson to answer your question.
This is my point. Like, I'm never going to complain about having too many players in good form. This is what you want. You want these problems. You want to have these selection headaches. You want to have loads of players in good form. And like the only reason I prefer Jackson to Nkunku right now is, and it's a bit of a catch-22 this one, because if you want a chance to fall to someone on the pitch, you want it to fall to Nkunku because he's probably our best finisher. But at the same time, as you were just saying, Jackson offers more, which is why he plays, because Nkunku's not going to run in behind. He's not going to pull Van Dijk and Konate out of position and create chances for other players. He's very much, he's good in the box. He's good with the ball in tight spaces, but he's not going to do that running that Jackson does. Run in channels, link-up play, hold-up play. He's not going to do that as well as Jackson does. And whilst Nkunku contributes goals to the team, he's not bringing the same output to the team as what Jackson is. Like, Jackson off the ball is also, his work's underrated. So that's why he plays. It's because he brings more overall to the team. But then in a big game like this, where you might not get many chances, I want a chance to fall to Nkunku because Nkunku's more likely to stick it away. So that's where you've got the issue. But ultimately, for me, it's not a bad problem. I don't understand why should it be one or the other. It's both. Like,
it's a very good headache to have.
They're both contributing. That's the most important thing.
Do you know what I see? And I think you might agree with this, and even the chat. I think we have a similar problem as in Nkunku and Jackson and Jota and Nunes. And I say that to say this, right? I feel like Nkunku and Jota are the better finishers,
Yeah.
but Nunes and Jackson have better work rate and will cause more problems to the back four and dragging them out of space.
Nunes just causes, I know he misses a lot of chances, but he just causes chaos.
And that's the thing. He'll probably come on because he won't start. We'll probably go for 11 soon, but Nunes won't start. But he'll come in the last 10, 15, probably with a Gakpo, and just run. Like he'll make a lot of runs. That's what I've always said about Nunes. I think we've accepted as a fan base, he's not, well, majority, I would say, he's not good enough for us. But one thing you can never take away from him is his work rate. And I always say of a striker, this is why I was backing him for so long, because it's like, maybe he's not being prolific and clinical, but he's creating his own chances. But now we're in his third season, and it's like, you're still not really sticking them away. But the thing is with Nunes, he'll miss a one-on-one, but then score a worldie against Bournemouth the other day when he cuts in on his weaker foot and just wraps it far post. So I think you've got a similar problem to us, as in, we know Jota's the more clinical player, but Nunes will be more of a nuisance, where Nkunku's your more clinical striker, but Jackson's more of a nuisance. I think it's a good headache to have for both clubs, to be fair.
No, I agree, bro. Obviously, I'm looking at this from our perspective and thinking, look, the Van Dijk-Konate partnership is solid. It's very good. We're probably not going to get an awful lot of change out of them, but maybe where we can get some success is space in behind the fullbacks. We know that Trent's going to leave space there. I think he's improved defensively, but the talk about his defending has been for a long time now. And then whether it's Robertson, Tsimikas, whoever it is, there's still going to be space in behind both sides. And whether it's Madueke on that right side, Sancho on the left, whether it's Mudryk or Pedro Neto, whoever it's going to be, I think we can have success getting in behind those fullbacks. And I think that's probably where we're going to cause the most problems. Would you say that's our best chance of causing new issues? Is that space behind the fullbacks, or is that a bit unfair?
Charlie, bro, I agree with you, because I think if you're going to try and put balls into the box, Van Dijk and Konate will just...
It's easy. But we've got no physical presence in the box. If it's Jackson or Nkunku, there's not really an aerial threat or a presence in the box.
Exactly. So Van Dijk and Konate can be in an armchair with a cigar in them. I think when it comes to aerially, they clean out everything. You're spot on, because I was saying this yesterday to one of my mates. I think Chelsea's success will be in behind, because I look at both. For me, again, you'll probably go through your starting 11 soon. For me, Sancho and Noni have to play. Noni on the right, Sancho on the left, because I think, like you said, Trent's going to leave space in behind and he will invert as well. Well, Konate will probably have to cover up for him. And I think Noni's been amazing this year. Noni's a player that, I'll be honest, last season I rated him, but his decision-making wasn't to where it should be. He's improved this year. And again, I was speaking about Slot. The hallmark of a good manager is improving players. I think Maresca's come in. Caicedo's gone up another level. Noni's improved. Sancho's just a good player anyway, but he's improved. Jackson's improved. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's improved a lot of players. Cucurella, I know he was playing well the back end of last season.
But he stepped up again.
He stepped up again, and that's a good hallmark of a manager. So I believe Noni, I actually think your right-hand side will give us more. Your right-hand side will give us more trouble than the left. Because one thing I will say, Charlie, though, this narrative about Trent being a bad defender, we know he's not the best, but he's been very good this season.
He's not awful. He's definitely better than what people make out.
Exactly. Yeah. People going like he's this dread. And it's like, no, what will happen is he might make one mistake and people will start having old narratives and trying to make it a new one again. Trent's actually been very good defensively, I'd say, the last 6-7 months. I'd say from about Christmas onwards, he's been quite good in that inverted role. But what I would say is I think you can have a lot of success one-on-one with Madueke versus Robertson, because Robertson is coming of age now. He's losing a lot.
Has he regressed a little bit, Robertson, over the past season or two?
So. I would say, and that's the fact that we were looking at a left-sided centre-back that could also play left-back. I think that speaks volumes, because I think Tsimikas, I think this is his last season, and I think Robbo, I think we're looking at an out-and-out starting left-back now, and I think Robbo will probably drop as a squad player, because he's been amazing for us. Great servant, won everything at the club. But I just think we're now looking to progress the team. I think we want a more energetic, youthful left back. But I think Noni versus Robert. If you ask me one area of the pitch I'm most worried, it's Noni versus Robertson. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah,
think your right hand side could give us a lot of problems. I think Sancho versus Trent. The only reason why I'm gonna say Sancho could get the better of Trent, but Konate will probably cover.
yeah.
And he's big, he's strong, he's quick. I think he can deal with that side. But Van Dijk tends to not cover as much as Konate does with Trent. He does cover, but he doesn't cover as much as Konate. So I think if Madueke isolates Robertson on the right, it could be a good battle, and it could be more of an advantage to you lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, in terms of the plan to stop Cole Palmer, I mean, obviously it's not stop Palmer. Chelsea don't play very well. I think this season so far, that narrative is not as true. I think the supporting cast have stepped up and they're contributing more. There's no denying he still is the main man, but we're not as reliant on him. Obviously, it massively helps if he steps up and delivers. What's the plan? Is Gravenberch going to be the guy that's tasked with that to try and stop him? Because I look at that, probably Liverpool's main kind of defensive-minded midfield player, Chelsea's main attack-minded midfield player. That's going to be an interesting little dynamic between the two. Would you say that Gravenberch is going to be the main guy that's going to be tasked with dealing with Palmer?
I think, right, so if we go through your midfield three, if you agree with me, I think it will be Enzo, Caicedo, and Palmer.
Yeah,
I personally think Lavia, and I know you might say...
I agree, bro.
Yeah.
I think Lavia should start as well, but he's not going to because he hasn't played enough.
But then I was told yesterday, Charlie, that he's been training for like the last 2 weeks.
I know he has, but he was unused sub against Forest. He was on the bench. He's been back. He came on again. He came off the bench against Brighton. He was unused sub against Forest. I just think this with his fitness record. I just think this. Although then he's not, but then again he's not in the squad for the Conference League on Thursday. So if he doesn't, he might be.
When you're speaking about the battle, I think Gravenberch will be tasked with stopping Palmer. Now, the reason why this is just the main, because for me, Palmer's the best player in the league at the moment. I don't think there's anyone better than him right now. But then Gravenberch is the best. You could probably argue Gravenberch and Palmer being the two best players in the league so far, or two of the best players. I think Gravenberch will be tasked with stopping Palmer. I think Szoboszlai will be on Enzo, and this is where I think we'll get success, because I think Lavia should start for you lot, but Enzo will start. And I think Enzo's not the most athletic. And I don't necessarily rate Szoboszlai going forward, but the reason why he starts is he wins the most duels for us in our midfield three, and he's got lungs. I don't know if you remember when Milner was here, he would always win our
bleach test. Just running, all the time.
Always win our bleach test. That's been Szoboszlai for the past two pre-seasons. The lactic test. He's got lungs for Charlie. He can play 90 minutes back to back.
Yeah.
And it's mad because for Hungary, he's a complete different player. He scored a brace in the week. He's exceptional for Hungary.
Do you need more output from him, by the way, do you think? Because he is player. I know, like, obviously, that other stuff you say he's good and it's helpful. But if you're playing as a number 10 for Liverpool, you need output. And his output for Liverpool is not really there right now.
Charlie, our manager even said, it's not come out and said, look, his numbers need to improve. But I feel both managers will know that it will be Gravenberch onto Palmer. It will be Caicedo and McAllister, obviously the history of Brighton and them used to play together. And then I think it'll be Szoboszlai on Endo. I think they'll be the three kind of midfield battles or the player you kind of need to mark. But yeah, so to answer your question, Gravenberch will be tasked with Palmer, and we will really see. I think the best will be brought out of both of them, because this is why Gravenberch for me is just so good, because he's a 6, but he loves to dribble, he loves to shoot, he loves to drop the shoulder. And what does worry me is I can see Gravenberch collecting it from Van Dijk or Konate, beating maybe one of your midfielders and starting off an attack. But if you turn over, it's now Palmer, Noni, Sancho, Jackson running at us, and we've not faced, like I said earlier, we've not faced an attack as potent as yours. This is going to be a very good game. I don't think it's going to be that typical Liverpool. Like I think you said, it's been 9 draws out of the last 10 between us. I don't think it's going to be that typical cagey affair. I think it's actually going to be, do you want me to be honest? And we haven't really had a game like this yet. I think this is going to be our first basketball-esque game. Where I think it
could be very end-to-end. I know we're looking to have more controlling games under Maresca, but there still has been that element of that end-to-end type of game. First half against Brighton, first half against Wolves. Those are games this season that, we've lacked control in the first half. Now, it's going to be very tough to go to Anfield and control the game. But I think we are going to have to go and just play our football, take the game to you. And don't be scared. We will get chances. We definitely will get chances. We've created chances against everyone. So I don't worry about creating chances. It's just, your defense is very good, and going forward, you're decent as well. As you say, Jota's great finisher. Salah does what Salah does. Whether it's Gakpo, Diaz is in very good form this season. Gakpo is contributing from the bench. Nunes just causes chaos. You never know what's going to happen when he's on. It's a threat. Like, both teams have got good options. Yeah, we've got amazing options from the bench, whether it's Neto, Nkunku, Felix, Mudryk. Like, you've got these great options from the bench. And that's maybe where the game could potentially be won as well, possibly from the bench. But I mean, if from a Chelsea perspective, what should we be worried about? I know obviously there's your obvious in Mo Salah and that, but in terms of kind of Liverpool going forwards, Diaz has kind of been the main guy. I mean, teams that have had, Forest were quite successful, I suppose, in stopping him. What's kind of the way to stop that Liverpool attack from functioning?
For me, again, I don't think you lot will play like this, but playing a bit pragmatic, because the only game we've lost this season was a Forest side that literally parked the bus, and
they packed out the midfield, because he started with no wingers, didn't he? They just packed the midfield.
They played a 3-5-2 that game, and we just struggled. We struggled. That's the difference between your game against Forest and ours. You were still creating clear-cut chances. We probably had 2 in the first half, and that's it. They just, even before Hudson-Odoi scored, we couldn't break them down. I actually think, and I feel like the Chelsea fan base will accept this if you get a result. I just think you lot should play pragmatic, because I think if you play a high line and you try and press us and swarm us, for me, it could be a long afternoon for you, because, like you said, Gravenberch has the ability, not only you know what's the biggest testament to Gravenberch is, the biggest compliment? He can do everything, and I don't want to gas him up too much, but he can generally do everything. And I feel, for me, him and Diaz, do you know why I'm not going to say Mo Salah as much? And you might be like, what? Your best player? You're not saying he's the biggest threat? Because against fullbacks that are quick and strong, in his, I'd say the last year or two, he has struggled. Your Tyreek Mitchells, your Anthony Robertson, I think Viega's quick and strong. I don't think Salah, you have to worry if maybe he cuts inside, or we have a penalty, or he goes 1-on-1. But I think
he's still contributing, isn't he? But he's not like he's not.
I don't
want to say he's not the main guy, but and it might sound weird to say it, but outside of like a goal or an assist, which is what you want, he doesn't really contribute much, does he? It's a ridiculous thing to say, because that's what you want from your players, but he's very much, unless he's scoring or assisting, he's not really affecting the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's become, because obviously it's the coming of age, he's not the Salah we saw 4 or 5 years ago, where he's just running past plays and slotting it bottom corner. He's becoming more of a facilitator. But I'd say the main 2 going forward is Diaz and Gravenberch. Gravenberch because he can just create something out of nothing, and Diaz because his output is very good this season, and he's got his shooting boots on. Jota, aerially, always for his height, he scores so much headers. But for me, it's Jota's movement, because he hasn't really had his shooting boots season. He's only scored 2 league goals out of 7, and he could have had a hat trick against Palace. He missed 2 sitters against Ipswich, even though he scored that game. The irony is, the 2 games he scored in, Ipswich and Palace, are the 2 games he could have got like 3 or 4 goals each. But I just feel Gravenberch and Diaz are the main 2. I'd say Jota's movement, because you think he's one minute you think he's there, and then he's just there. Like, his movement's very good. But I'd also say this isn't necessarily going forward, but set pieces, because Van Dijk and Konate have both scored.
We're poor at defending set pieces. I'll be real. Yeah. That's one of our big weaknesses.
And both of them have scored this season. We've been very good. I think in the league we're 3rd or 4th highest team scoring from set pieces. Obviously, Arsenal on top. Yeah. And someone else that are second. Actually, we might be 3rd, but we're very good from set pieces. So I think that's another area. We can hurt you in a lot of ways, but so can you lot. And I think that's why this game's very interesting.
No, I agree. I mean, mate, how much of a problem is it that Alisson's out of this one? I'll be honest, mate. Kelleher, whenever he plays against us, mainly the cup finals, the guy just pulls out a worldie against us like every time he plays. But he's not. I don't know if he's played much this season. Maybe he played in the third round at a Carabao or whatever. He didn't come on against Palace though, did he? It was someone else. But he's obviously going to play in this game. I mean, how much of a problem is it that Alisson's missing? Obviously, it's not ideal, but Kelleher's done well when he stepped in Alisson's absence. So maybe it's not as big a problem as it might have been in the past.
Do you know what I'd say about Kelleher, right? And I can speak for our fan base. It's got to the point that when Alex, because I don't know what it is, but Alisson and Maignan from AC Milan,
yeah.
Them two, I think you lot are heavily linked with him, or you were linked with him.
Yeah, in the summer we did, yeah.
Yeah, for keepers, they're both so injury prone, both of them. Alisson gets probably an injury a season where he's out for a month or two. It's crazy. But like I was saying, as a fan base, we've got to the point when Kelleher comes into the fold, we're not that bothered, especially against you lot, because like you said, 2 cup finals, 2 wins for him. And in fact, that's disingenuous. Not even just the cup finals against Chelsea. His Carabao Cup campaigns for us in FA Cup, he does whenever he comes into the fold, he does well. Alisson was injured against Bournemouth. He kept a clean sheet against Bournemouth, right? So I just feel when Kelleher comes in now, it's not like we're like, of course he's not Alisson. Alisson for me has been the best or one of the best keepers since he's come to the club. So he's not an Alisson, but it's come to the point where he's that good. He's better than a lot of number ones in the league. I think a lot of teams
he is.
Would take him as their number one. It's come to the point where when he comes into the fold, we're not that bothered because he's a quality keeper. I think we're all going to accept that we've lost him into summer. The fact we signed Mamadashvili and we loaned him back to Valencia. Kelleher will be gone in summer. Even when he's on international duty with Ireland, he always says, look, I want to be... Well, he admitted he tried to leave in the summer, but...
He should be a first choice somewhere. He's good enough to be first choice.
He will, Charlie, he will be. Next summer he's gone. With the fact that we signed... And even Jaros come on against...
Palace, wasn't it?
Palace.
Yeah.
And he's actually the number one keeper for Czech Republic, I believe, or Slovakia, one of them. So he's got a lot of experience himself in first team football. But Kelleher, we're not too bothered now. What I would say though, he does worry me from corners. He's not that commanding from corners, but he's one-on-one.
Does he flap at him a bit?
Yeah, he can flap it a bit. That's the only criticism I have with Kelleher, but he's good with his feet. And what he's one-on-one shot stopping is very good. Very, very good. So yeah, I'm not too bothered about Kelleher coming into the fold. He's not Alisson, but he's still very good. Very good.
Yeah, no, mate. When I saw that Alisson was out, I was thinking, but like that's not really that great for us because because Kelleher does. It's not like you've got someone really shit coming in. That's not gonna? I don't look at that and think, Liverpool obviously a little bit weaker with him in goal, but it's not a drastic drop off. Which is what we which we would have liked. We definitely would have preferred that. I mean, bro, there's been how much of a distraction is the contract stuff at the moment? Because there's been a bit more noise this week particularly surrounding Trent. It certainly seems out of the three, he's probably the most likely. It's looking like he's the most likely to go. It's obviously not helpful. I don't know if it's affecting him or not, but. What's your take on this? You know, that obviously 3 key players in the last year of their contracts. Obviously, Van Dijk and Salah are a little bit different because they're obviously early mid-30s, so that's slightly different situation. But Trent in his prime at 25, in a couple of months, he can agree to join another club. How do you see the situation going? Are you resigned to him going? And it doesn't seem to be affecting his football because he's played very well for England and he's done well this season, but it can't be helpful. Slot's pretty much asked about it at every presser.
He was asked about it today, and you know what it is with Trent, right? I've put it like this, Charlie. If he now stays, I'll be pleasantly surprised. And I say that to say this. I said from the summer, I actually thought it would only be Van Dijk that stays, and apparently Van Dijk should announce his extension, I think, in the next couple of days. It could even be today. A lot of reports are saying. I think Van Dijk stays. I thought he was the only one that would stay in the summer, but now Salah's come out and said, look, I think after the United game when we beat them 3-0, he said, look, the club haven't come to me, but I would still like to stay. And I think we will get the Salah deal wrapped up. Trent, I've conceded that he will leave. Of course, we don't want him to leave, but the way I see it is, in the summer 2022, when we only signed Arthur Melo on loan and we hardly signed anyone, we should have used the money that we didn't spend to extend.
Knew the guys, yeah.
Salah just extended. Sorry, he extended in the January because it was the whole will Mane and Salah sign. Salah signed an extension, Mane didn't. But I think Van Dijk and Trent is when we should have given them contract extensions, and we didn't. I think it's gross negligence that we've let for me, we've got 4 world-class players left: Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, and
Salah.
And Salah. Yeah, the fact Alisson actually has 18 months left, so Alisson's deal expires January 2026. No, summer 2026. However, I think him and Kelleher both leave next season, and Mamardashvili becomes our number 1, Jaros becomes our number 2. I think we're going to get at least 20-30 million from Saudi for him. But the fact that we've let Van Dijk,
it's
Trent,
mad,
and Salah,
that's
our 3
mad,
world-class players that are outfield players go to their last year, it's gross negligence, Charlie. And I think with Trent, right, he's getting a lot of stick from our fan base this past couple of days because they're like, look, if you're going to leave your boyhood club, the club you support, at least let us get some money in for him. But I'm like, hold on.
By the way, sorry, mate. If, let's say, Real Madrid bid 40 million quid in January for Trent, do you take it?
The reason why I wouldn't, because I think we should be going for every competition we're in, and losing Trent, it makes us considerably weaker. So I understand the notion of, look, you need to get something in for him, because I remember you lot got 100 million for Hazard when he had a year left. And
yeah, mad.
It's crazy. And with Trent's I think he's just turned 26. I understand the notion of, you need to get money for him, but I think, let's say now we got to January and we're a point off the top, or we're in the mix with Arsenal, possibly yourself.
Yeah, you can't be letting those players go.
You can't be letting our best player go. So for me, I wouldn't begrudge Trent for leaving, because look, if he went to another English club like Man City or Arsenal,
yeah,
I think there'll be pitchforks out. But the fact he's going to the biggest club in world football, it's the pinnacle. His best friend in Jude's there, which doesn't really help us. You're even seeing the England camp, him hiding behind the birthday card. They're good friends, and they're always, when you see, I watch England's YouTube channel, so you see a lot of the relationship.
They're always together.
They're always together. So I think the fact his best friend is there, he's won. You know what? If Trent hadn't won maybe the Prem with us or a Champions League,
this is what I was going to say, bro. Like,
he's won everything. He's actually won everything.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, obviously, it's always disappointing when one of your own leaves, but I'm thinking, hang on a second, this guy's won everything there's possibly to win with Liverpool, and the opportunity to join the biggest and the best club in world football and Real Madrid don't come along every day. How can you begrudge someone that? Like,
exactly.
You can't.
Do you know what is, Charlie? As our fan, I think it's a bit different for me. I'm speaking as a London Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know if you know Tom Little. Big up Tom Little, a good guy that I stream with. He's obviously a Scouser and that lives in the city. And he said
they look at it differently.
They look at it much differently, because he's looking at it from a perspective. It's his boyhood club. He loves Liverpool, supports Liverpool. He said 2-3 years ago that he can't imagine himself ever leaving. But this is why I say don't get too attached.
Things change, isn't it? Things change all the time.
Exactly. And for me, Charlie, our anger should be directed at FSG, Michael Edwards.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be at Trent. But Tom was explaining to me, and I do get where he's coming from as a Scouser. He at least, look, if you're going to leave, cool, but at least let us get financially better through yourself. Let us get something for you leaving. And I get that, and I feel like Scousers feel he owes us something. But for me, pivotal in us winning the Champions League, corner taken quickly, me, we won that Champions League against Barca. All due respect to Spurs, I kind of knew we would win that final against Spurs.
Yeah.
And then even the Premier League, I think he's got the most assists from any defender. I think him and Robbo are 1 and 2. He was pivotal. That season we won the Prem, I think he got 12 or 13 league assists. He's been pivotal in us winning the big honours. And I think it's like, what more can he do? Like, he's won everything with us. It's not like he's been a fringe player in doing that. He's been one of our main players. Right. I think we can't begrudge him. And it's like, look, if if he goes to Madrid, the only time we can play him is in the Champions League. It's not like he's gone to another English club because when Gerrard nearly did that, we were fuming.
Bro, he was coming. He was going to come to us.
He was on the motorway. He was on the motorway.
And then like you got the Gerrard shirts being burnt in the street.
And then apparently him and his dad were in the car, and he got a phone call from, let's just say, the Liverpool mafia saying, if you do this, started to threaten his family. He's like, you know what?
It's mad.
I can't be doing this. So I just think with Trent, he's going abroad. He doesn't want to disrespect us by playing against us twice a season. He's going abroad. He's going to the biggest club in the world. Look, we've seen, I think we can pick a player from every top 6 club. Hazard for you lot, Cristiano Ronaldo for Man United. I think Man City are the anomaly because they were winning so much year in, year out. Their players, it was easy to keep hold. Arsenal had an abundance of... Actually, Arsenal didn't have players that went Madrid, but they had players that went Barca. Spurs had Modric and Bale. Do you know what I mean? I think when it comes to Barca and Real Madrid,
it doesn't matter who you are. You can't say no. Even like massive clubs like Liverpool, Man United. If Real Madrid come calling or Barcelona come calling, particularly for South American players, I know Trent's not South American, particularly South American players, like you had it with Suarez, Coutinho, like those guys, as much as they might like Liverpool and they're happy there, bro, a lot of these guys' dreams is to play for these massive clubs, and I don't think you can begrudge him that. He's been fantastic for Liverpool, but we'll kind of have to wait and see what happens on that one. Just sort of final thoughts, bro. Obviously, it's not a disaster for either side if they lose this game, because we're only in October still. But if you were to lose this, bro, like, does that change anything for you in terms of Liverpool this season?
You know how you just said it wouldn't be a disaster. You're right. Disaster. It wouldn't. That specific word. It wouldn't be a disaster if we didn't win. But I think if we lost, sorry, because you said if either team lose, it wouldn't be a disaster. If we lost, it wouldn't be a disaster, but it'll be a massive disappointment because as Liverpool fans, we don't care who's coming to our patch. We expect to win, and even if we don't win, we definitely don't expect to lose. And I just feel with the context of this season, we've had a very good defense. Again, I have to keep reiterating, we've not played an attacker as potent as yours, but we still had a very good defense. I feel for you lot, a point. I think even if I was to ask you now, if you would take a point in the chat, you might take a point for now. I think
I'll take a point right now.
Exactly. For us, a loss would be not a disaster because again, you're right. We're only 8 games in, but it'll be a big disappointment because we've already lost at home. And Charlie, I don't know if you know, in our last 8 games at Anfield, all competitions from the back end of last season, we've lost 3. There was a moment under Slot where we hadn't lost in about 68. We were trying to close your record. You know, you had the 86 games.
86 games at home unbeaten. The league is mad.
Crazy. We got to 68. So we're for Liverpool fans in the last 4 or 5 years, we're not used to losing at home. There was 3 Premier League campaigns in a row that we didn't lose at home. So the fact we've lost 3 in our last 8 in all competitions, we're not used to this. So I think for us, and the fact that we've already lost this season at Anfield, I don't want to lose again. I want Forest to be the only, even if it's at Arsenal, City, Aston Villa, Chelsea, I back us against anyone on our patch. So I think if we was to draw, it will be a disappointment, but we won't dwell on it too much. I think both clubs will move on. We'll focus on Leipzig midweek. If we win, if either of us, if you lot win, one thing I want to say.
What do you think it does for us, though? By the way, if we, because people we're kind of, I don't say we're going under the radar, but I think we've surprised people with how good the start's been. I don't think people expected Maresca to make that big an impact so quickly. If we win, not only is it massive, but I think I don't believe it does make us contenders, but people will start talking about us as contenders. They won't talk about us as top 4. They'll talk about us as contenders, which I don't think is right, but I think that is naturally what will happen. Is people will now start speaking about Chelsea as contenders if we can somehow go to Anfield and win.
I think you as a fan base, especially yourself, Charlie, you're quite down to earth. You're quite balanced. I think even if you win this game, I think yourself and a few more balanced Chelsea fans, you'll still probably need to see a bit more.
Yeah.
However, rivals will, we love to do this, rivals, that put pressure on your rivals. You want them to succumb to pressure. So I think if you was to beat us at Anfield, you'll get Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, City fans, United fans. You'll get all of the other top 6 saying, no, that's it. billion spent. You've gone to one of the hardest away grounds, got 3 points. You're title contenders. But I'm being very balanced here. Even if you beat us at Anfield, I'm not going to be one of them.
More because we
Yeah,
got
I'm not going to be shameless.
Because next 4 games, right? We got you away on Sunday, then we got Newcastle away, the Newcastle at home next weekend, and then we've got Arsenal, we've got Man United away, and then Arsenal at home. So literally, our next 4 games are Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United, Arsenal, 2 at home, 2 away. That's gonna go a long way to telling us how we're looking at, because there's no point if we go to Anfield and win on Sunday, right? That's totally pointless if we don't back it up by at least winning 2 of the next 3 against Newcastle, Man United, and Arsenal. So, whilst it would be fantastic to win at Anfield, that Anfield win is only great if we can follow it up with 2 wins out of the next 3 games. That would then really back us up, and I could maybe start to think, okay, I can understand why people are saying that. Winning in isolation is great, but it's, as I said, it doesn't mean anything unless we can back it up.
Do you know what, Charlie? Title contenders in Chelsea, for me, can only be in the same sentence if you get to Christmas. You know, when you get to the 19th game mark.
Yeah, we need to get Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're bang in the middle of the season around New Year, Christmas time, if you lot are, let's say, top, or let's say 3-4 points off the top, that's when even myself, I'll start saying, Chelsea can go for this year. They can compete for the league, because you're at the halfway stage. You're in the mix. You lot don't have a problem spending money. I think that's one thing. Say what you want about Clearlake, right? But if they need to
spend.
Exactly. If you need to improve a position, you will spend. Let's say you find yourself, Charlie. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you're third. 1st of January, you're in 3rd place. You're a couple points off the top. You need a few more additions to your squad. Ekbali and Bowley will add to that. Who's to say Chelsea can't go on? I'm not saying win, but compete for the league. Look, you're in a Conference League where you can fully rotate. It's not like you're in Champions League where you can't. You have to play the same tweak. You have to play the majority of your 11.
You can make one or two changes, but this is a thing. What I was chatting about the other day, right? Is that in a conference for the Conference League, this is fine, right? We can make 11 changes from Thursday to Sunday. When we get in the Champions League, right? That juggling act between keeping players happy and giving them enough minutes is going to be a lot more difficult, because you're not going to be making 9, 10, 11 changes from a Premier League game to a Champions League group stage game. You're simply not going to be doing that. So that's where the task becomes that much more difficult, and that's why this season's great for Maresca, because he can keep most of the squad happy, because there's enough games and enough minutes to go round to satisfy the majority of those players. But my concern going forwards is going to be, when we get back into the Champions League, hopefully for next season, is how do we keep everyone happy? Because there's not going to be anywhere near as much rotation, and that's going to be a problem that we're going to have to deal with.
Charlie, I'll say from now, I don't know who. I'll be lying if I started naming names, but I do believe my prediction start before balls kicked was Chelsea get 4th. I still believe
same with me.
I still believe you get 4th, but I'm going to say from now, and we're only in October, next summer, once you get back in the Champions League, I think a few of your big names will probably leave. And the only reason I say that is because you're going to want to add players. Maresca's going to want more of his own players. And I just feel like you said, now you can make wholesale changes to your 11 and the football can be shared. But I think, like you said, Champions League, you can only afford to maybe make
2 or 3. You might make 2 or 3 max.
Exactly, 2 or 3 max. And I feel like some of your big players will look at it like, you're going to see incoming, Zach. You know what? There's about 2-3 players in my position now. I need to be playing regularly, because you need to remember as well, next summer will be a World Cup year. That's the campaign before the World Cup. So you're going to want to play for your nation. You need to be playing a lot of football. So I think next summer you're going to see a lot of players that are good enough to play for Chelsea leave, only because better players will be coming in.
Yeah, but I think in Nkunku's one, no joke, right? That legitimately could have to leave next summer. The only reason I say this, right, is because if we sign a striker, which you've been looking for, we tried to do it last summer. Maybe we try in January, I don't know. But I think next summer is something we definitely look at. But let's say we've got Osimhen this summer, right? The club believe in Nicholas Jackson. He's contracted until 2033. They believe in him. Imagine if Osimhen had come this summer. where does Nkunku play? Now, you could say maybe we don't sign João Felix and he plays as the backup 10 to Palmer. But if we do bring a striker in now, Nkunku's finished. Like, where does he play? And it's absolutely mad because when we signed him, the idea was he's going to be one of the main guys. And you're sort of thinking there's a chance. I'm not saying I want this to happen, but there's realistically a chance that he could leave next summer if we sign a striker, because Felix is not going to be moved on after one season. So people say maybe Mudryk might be sold, and you could put in Nkunku on the left, but Nkunku on the left is not really doing it. So it's a tricky one.
It's a dilemma with Chelsea, because I actually agree with you to a certain extent. I think if you don't resign Felix, because even Sancho's on loan, isn't he?
But it's obligation to buy as long as we don't. But it's as long as we don't finish in the bottom six. So that's not going to happen. So it's permanent, basically.
Yeah. So cool. I think you've looked at your Osimhens, you've looked at your Durans. You were linked with a lot of number 9s in the summer. I agree with you. I think Chelsea, whether it's January or in the summer, you sign a number 9. I feel. Do you want me to be honest? I rate João Felix highly, but I think because his output won't be what it should be, I think he's going to be one of those players that are past the parcel. I think he's just going to go club to club for most of his career. I don't think you'll sign him. So like you said, that leaves you with your left wing options with Mudryk, Sancho, and Nkunku. I think Mudryk out of the two might leave, but where he's on a longer contract, I think he's on a longer contract than
he's on a long contract,
I feel like it might be harder to get him off the books. I think your right-hand side, and Nkunku can't play on the right, and I think a lot of people know this. So your right-hand side, that's now Pedro Neto and
that's locked down quite nicely. But then also we've got Esteban Willian, the South American talent. He's coming next summer as well, and Kendry Pires is coming next summer. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not saying both of them are going to go straight into the team. They might be loaned. I don't know, but. This is the point. Like it's all very well having all these attackers now, and it's great, but you add more to it, and there's a little bit of a problem. But it is what it is, isn't it? That's a problem for another day. I know you've got to go in a sec, bro. But last thing, score prediction. What are you saying?
Tight game. When I say it will be basketball-esque, it will be basketball-esque in terms of back and forth chances, but I think it'll be a cagey. It'll be a cagey affair in terms of scoreline, but I back us. I think we'll win 2-1. I think you go ahead. I think you score too early. I think if you were to score around the 60th or 70th, it could give us trouble. I actually think you lot score within the first 20 minutes against the run of play. I think we'll be dominating the ball. You get a counter attack. I can see Palmer putting it away, but then I just think we equalize before half time. And then I can see a late winner. This will not be easy by any means. I've seen a lot of content creators, Liverpool content creators saying 3-0, 4-1. It won't be that, in my opinion. But I think we win this game 2-1, Charlie. That's
do you know what it is, right? We're improved, but there's still a small part of me that thinks there's a little chance that we could turn up and just get absolutely ruined. Like
that's what a lot of Liverpool fans think.
You've always got that chance at Anfield where you could just turn up and just get done in. Like there's always that. I don't think we will, but I think I have to say there is a possibility it might happen. I don't think we will win. I've got to be honest, but I think we can get a draw here. So I said the other day I think it's going to be 2-2. I'm gonna stick with a 2-2. I think there'll be goals in this game. It'll be quite end to end. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-2. But and I'll be more than happy with a point. But if we do lose. I've got a problem with that. But the key for me is, do we turn up? Yeah, exactly. Do we turn up, give a good account of ourselves, and you just come up short on the day, and that's fine. But if we turn up, we roll over, we show no fight, no ambition, no desire, then I'll be annoyed about it. But if we lose and we've done our best, then you could just hold your hands up. We weren't good enough.
Charlie, do you know what I've realised though? Which we haven't really mentioned yet. Both of our away records are 100%. We've both, I think we've both won.
We've won 3 out of 3 on the road.
Yeah, and we've won. I think maybe 4. Have we played more games at Anfield? No, I think we've played away from home more than we played. Yeah, because Palace and Wolves are back to back. Yeah, we've won 4 away from home as well. So look, you lot are better away from home as it stands.
Yeah, mate, we're 1 win from 4 at home this season.
From 4.
Yeah, 1 from 4 at home. We've played City at home on the opening day, lost. We drew to Palace at home. We drew to Forest at home, and we beat Brighton 4-2 when Palmer scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're 1 win from 4 at home. We're 3 out of 3 on the road.
So is it mad to say, had this game been at Stamford Bridge, I should be even more confident?
Yeah, bro. I would have backed you boys to definitely get at least 1 point if it was at Stamford Bridge. But no, it should be good, bro. I know you've got to shoot. Now I'm going to carry on for a little bit, but bro, thank you so much for your time. Let the people know where you do all your stuff and that.
At the moment, you can catch me on a channel called Big Six Banks. That's where you'll see me the most. But I do have something in the pipeline. I've got a podcast coming up with me and my friends where it's in studio. We're just tying a few things over. But as it stands, just head over to Big Six Banks. I think a lot of you are familiar with that channel. Yeah. That's where you'll see me a lot. But hopefully in the future, when we do more previews, I'll have my channel with me and my friends where we do in studio reviews and previews and whatnot.
Nah, perfect, bro. Thank you so much. Guys, make sure you check out Big Six Banks and that. Romz, top man. Take care, brother. Catch up with you soon. Cheers for coming on. Nice one, bro. Guys, what are we saying? Excuse me. I'm going to go for a little bit longer. We're just going to go through the Maresca presser. People, we're on 40 likes. What's going on here? Let's get this up to at least 50. Come on, guys. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. It would really, really help me out. So make sure we get this to an absolute minimum of absolute minimum 50. So please do that. Please do run that up, people. Please do run that up. Yeah, let's have a look what you lot have been saying in the chat. Our defense needs to be on the ball, no messing about at the back. Plus, need to play Neto instead of Madueke. I'm happy with either. I honestly don't see a problem with either. I think, I'm happy either way. To be perfectly honest, Jackson could. I don't think so. I don't think so personally. The only way he's going to play is through the middle. But right now, Jackson's got that space through the middle locked down. So yeah, it is going to be a tricky one. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. We need to bury our chances, but Liverpool defense is going to be tough. We're going to have to try and get in behind the fullbacks. That's absolutely going to be something we're going to need to work out 100%. Yeah, well, look, they might do. They might do, but I think that's a little bit. I think that's a little bit overconfident, to be perfectly honest. I do think that's a little bit overconfident. Yeah, words I never thought I would hear. Chelsea have got a fully fit squad. Everybody, bar obviously Cucurella and Fofana, is suspended. Who are suspended? It's absolutely mad. I can't believe it. We used to pray for times like these, and now we have got them. Everybody is fit. Absolutely fantastic news for us. Absolutely brilliant. Everyone's fit. And yeah, guys, we're in a really, really good place. A really, really good place. So that is something we can absolutely 100% look forward to. Yes, big up, brother. I hope you're doing well. I hope we can beat Liverpool as well. Starting Neto. No, James absolutely is not going to start. The best that Reece James will do is get a few minutes on the bench, and it'll be much more likely that he plays against the likes of against Panathinaikos on next Thursday. Sorry. If we walk away with a draw, I think we did okay. Yep, I agree. I would have absolutely zero problem with walking away with a draw. Absolutely zero problem whatsoever if it ends up being a draw. I think that's a very good result for us. I don't see how anyone can moan about that. I would be very, very happy with a draw. Very, very happy. Absolutely 100% be delighted with a draw. But yeah, we got to see. We just got to see how it goes. We've got to make sure that we kind of ride this game out in chunks. So see through that first 10 minutes, then build on it. Let's get to the next 10 minutes. We just got to take it in little 10-minute chunks. Just get through the game in small periods, because Anfield has got the ability to just overawe you. Players can become done in by the occasion. Guys, we're still 9 likes away from 50. Come on, people. That's got to be the absolute minimum target. Let's get this to 50 likes. Come on, guys. Should not be difficult at all. Make sure we are getting the likes up. Come on, guys. It's free. It takes seconds to do. So please make sure you're running those likes up. There's definitely 9 people in here that haven't smashed a like, and it really, really helps out. So please do that, guys. Please do it. I would really, really appreciate it. So please do run it up, people. I think we'll lose. Look, we could well do. We absolutely could well do. Nkunku, Lever, Caicedo in to start. Enzo after. Nkunku's not going to start. Lavia's not going to start either. But yeah, good options to have from the bench. Yeah, absolutely. The team's definitely going to improve. The team's definitely going to get more hungry. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great occasion. It's a game that I am looking forward to. It's a game that it's the games that you want to see your team playing in. You want to see us going up against the big sides and seeing where we are. And we are 100% going to find out where we are as a team when through this next run of fixtures. But I mean, is there anything? I just want to see fight on Sunday. Absolutely. We've got to turn up and approach it in the right way. We have to turn up and approach it in the right way. But yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Absolutely, let's see what we can do. What else are we looking at? Oh yeah, let's see what quotes there's been from the Maresca presser. So let's have a look, guys. Anything worthwhile has been said. Nothing too much has been said. No, everyone's fit, basically. There's questions on Chilwell, questions on Sancho, nothing particularly exciting. There's not really been anything from there. He's obviously spoken on Reece James. He's fit. He's back with the squad. And he's basically saying that Reece right now can't play more than once a week, which I think we know that's going to be the case anyway. It's saying it's complicated when you get injury. You are always looking for a solution. The solution with Reece is what we are using with Romeo and Wes, using them just once a week. Reece's body currently cannot play twice a week. So whether that means 2 starts a week or whether that just means 2 games in general, I'm not sure. I'd imagine that means 2 starts. I'm sure he could play 5 minutes, one game, 5 minutes, another game. I don't think that's the issue. He'll be on the bench on Sunday, I think, but I'd be surprised if he came on. Really, I think we're more than likely to see him against Panathinaikos in the week. That's going to be when we're going to see him for sure. I don't know is the answer to that. I really don't know. Hopefully soon, but I don't have the answer to that question. Hopefully it will be soon though. I don't know why, but I have a feeling our Portuguese boys, Felix and Vega, can turn the game around. Yeah, maybe we've definitely got good options on the bench that can help us. Liverpool also have some decent options on the bench, so that's something that absolutely shouldn't be overlooked. Absolutely shouldn't be overlooked. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's absolutely going to be an interesting one. It's one that I am very much looking forward to. Guys, we're still 8 likes away from 50. Come on, people. Let's run it up, guys. It's not difficult. please smash that like button. It's not hard to get to 50 likes. I don't know what's happened to us recently. We were getting well over 100 every stream. Now it's a real struggle to get 50. So that's got to be the bare minimum, people. It needs to be the bare minimum. So please do run those likes up. Get it to 50. That's 7 more likes now. Come on, guys. Let's get there. I'm going to round out shortly, so please do keep running it up. As long as Reece doesn't come on and get... Yeah, let's hope not. Let's hope that those days are behind us. No, probably not. I don't know. I don't know is the honest answer. I'd like to say no, but maybe we might do. I'm not sure. Maybe we might start him. But yeah, let's see on that one. Let's see on that one what happens. It's definitely going to be an interesting one, but let's see what happens with him. Hopefully, we just ease him back in and it's all good. We can't afford to have any injury setbacks with Reece. We cannot afford to have any. So let's make sure that, we just take care with him. And luckily we're in a luxury position where we can afford to do that. So that's a really good thing. But in terms of other stuff from the presser, there wasn't really... there hasn't been an awful lot. Maresca saying he's happy with the squad. Excited to play these sorts of games. And look, I'm excited for this game as well. You have to be excited for these games. You have to be. Because this is what you want to do. Test yourself against the best. And we need to see how far we've come as a team. And this little next run of fixtures is going to tell us exactly how far we've come as a team and how much further we still need to go. And I suspect there is still quite a long way for us to go as a team. I think there's still quite a long way for us to go as a team, but it's going to be very, very interesting, very, very interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. I think it's a really exciting run of fixtures coming up for us. Really exciting run. This is what you should be relishing, testing yourself against the very best. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Guys, get your score predictions in the chat as well, by the way. Get your score predictions in there. Get them in there, people. Yeah, no, fair play to the overseas fans. Big respect for getting up in the early hours following us. It definitely can't be easy. I certainly don't envy that. And yeah, the Chelsea fans all around the world are going to be supporting us on Sunday. Obviously, I'll be in the ground. Hoping for a good day. But yeah, you just never know. You just never know. We have to beat Man United away. They're so bad. Yeah, let's worry about that when we get to it. I'm not concerned about that game right now. Guys, 6 more likes to 50. Come on, people. It's not too much to ask. It's very, very straightforward. So please run up the likes. It's not hard to do. Not hard to do. Not hard to do at all. So make sure not hard to do at all. So please do run it up, guys. Let's get there. What are we on? 46. 4 more, guys. 4 more. Let's run it. Come on, people. We're almost there now. Head says 2-1 Liverpool. Yeah, I think the 2-2 draw. The 2-2 draw is quite a popular one. I'm seeing quite a few people going with the 2-2 draw. So maybe we get something. Maybe we get something. Let's wait and see on that. But maybe we do get something. 2-2 draw. I would be very, very happy. Very, very happy. But guys, I'll be even happier with the final 3 likes on the stream. Come on, guys. Let's do this. Let's do this. But yeah, people, we're getting there. We are getting there. Only a couple of days away now from the big game. We're 50 hours away from kickoff. This is going to be huge. It is going to be huge, guys. Very, very much looking forward to it. Not sure what to expect. I just want us to go and give a good account of ourselves. That is the most important thing. Go and give a good account of ourselves. That is what we must do. And if you come up short, you come up short. You know, that's the reality. That is the reality of the situation. But yeah, guys, I'm going to round this one out. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. I know the numbers weren't great. I'm not really sure what's going on with the lives at the moment. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in this afternoon. Greatly appreciate it, guys. Make sure you check out the preview with Errol. It's uploaded on the channel now. So please go over and check that out for his thoughts on the game as well. Big up to Romz for jumping on as always. Guys, please smash the like button on the way out. It's 3 more likes, so please do run it up on your way out. I would really, really appreciate it. Just a little milestone we need to hit. So 3 more likes. Please smash that like button, people. 2 more now. Come on, guys. 2 more likes. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Come on, guys. 2 more. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Yeah, we have to be more optimistic. We have to be more optimistic. If you can't head into this game feeling confident with the start we've had, then when are you going to feel confident heading to Anfield? So we have to go in with some level of confidence. So yeah, anyway, guys, big love as always. Please smash the likes on the way out. Subscribe if you're new around here. Make sure you check out all the content that's currently up on the channel. And yeah, keep subscribing, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with a little upload, little match preview, predicted lineup, all that sort of thing, little upload. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned in for that one. Please smash the likes on the way out, people. Please subscribe to the channel as well. 2 more likes to 50. Run it up, run it up. 1 more like, guys. 1 more like on your way out. Smash that like button, people. Enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. Have a good weekend, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with an upload. Make sure you check out the opposition preview with Errol from Redmen TV, which is over on the channel now. And yeah, big love as always. Let's get that final like on the way out. Up the Chelsea and all that good stuff, people. Catch you again soon. Peace out.